Special dedication to each and everyone who watched the Nina Cabeza live show. Watch me so, me go so them believe it every time my music play it feel live. Greetings, proper fix, proper fix, proper fix. I bring you peace, I bring you peace. We good to go, good to go. Good to go then in a Cabeza live show. What you gonna do? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do? What you gonna do now? Everyone, let's get it on. Watch the Nina Cabeza live show. Everyone, let's get it on. Watch the Nina Cabeza live show. Bring your wisdom to people in a comfort of their home simple. Say again. Bring your wisdom to people in a comfort of their home simple. What more? What more? Tune in, tune in, keep watching the Nina Cabeza live show. Yes, no problems, no problems, no problems, no problems. Yes, indeed. Greetings, one live it, grow it, ordinary snakehead, hatchet the flying dragon, questions good, say that. What up, what up, what up, what up?
Hello and welcome to the Nina Cabeza Life Show. Wow, I don't even know how many of these shows I've literally done. I thought I started it just as a joke. You know, a friend of mine just sent me a message saying, oh my God, you know, you're really going on with all these, your show. You know, it just started as, you know what, let me just give her a go. I'm always doing live on Facebook. I'm always doing all these things and people tend to like what I want, but then I knew if I started a television show, I had to put the work in because it's not just, oh, today it's Thursday, I'm just gonna come up here and just say whatever you want. As you can see, I do prepare my notes, you know, so it's research, it's what do I want to talk about? You know, I just don't want to give you any information because a lot of information out there are false information. So I wanted to give you insights, but also back it up with some stuff. And, you know, as usual, you do the research. I'm a researcher anyway, so it was very easy and very okay. So how's everybody's week been? Has it really been that week already? Do you know, this week seems to be going quick. But before I carry on, I just want to advise, you know, give a word of encouragement to many of you who at this moment, you could be sitting at home and you're thinking, wow, we are almost half of the year and I haven't accomplished anything I set myself to accomplish. Well, I'm just here to tell you that, you know what? It doesn't matter what you've accomplished or what you have not accomplished. But the little that you have accomplished, you need to congratulate yourself for it. You need to applaud yourself because it is very challenging for so many people. Many don't speak about it, but there's so many people who struggle to get up in the morning. There's so many people who's going through so much depression, anxiety, you name it, they have it. And I used to be one of those people. But I've managed to get myself out of that situation. I've managed to keep pushing myself on a daily basis. The moment you open your eyes in the morning, it means you're alive. It means you are allowed to try again. So never give hope, never give up hope, and obviously keep focusing. And God should be your strength. Now today, as you can see, the lovely topic there is effective communication. Now, when it comes to communication, there's different variety of things. You can even Google it, you get all sort of information. But I wanted to do effective communication within a family setting. As this is the family lesson, again, I say, I am not teaching you how to run your family, but I'm just bringing you insightful information which has helped myself and many people that I've known and other things that I've observed that I've applied myself and it has actually worked. So that's why it's called Family Lessons. I'm not the teacher because you are the expert of your family, because you're the person that knows how it all goes, but just giving information. It's called sharing. I'm just sharing and signposting because you never know. Some of you may find it useful. So today we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, basic information. Now, there is such a thing called the basic communication. And as the research has it, there's like 4 type of what they classify as. They classify it as a basic information. So it's listening, reading, writing, and talking. So a person who should have a basic communication is, they should be able to be listening, they should be able to be reading, they should be able to be writing and talking. So those are the 4 ones. These are the 4 ways that people can communicate. Yeah, I know, right? Listening is also part of communication. This is something that you probably did not know, but it really is. But I'll get into that a little bit, further. So that's the basic. Now, in the setting of a family home, it is important that you listen to every member of your family. Now, the listening is not just when they're coming to you and talking to you. Especially when it comes to children, the most important time to listen is when they are on the phone with their friends or talking amongst themselves. It's very key that you should have that ears that listen, because that is also part of communication. So you should be able to listen to whatever conversation is being done. You should be able to listen to what's going on, the tones and the body language and all those things. So listening is very important in the family setting. And reading. Now, reading is very important as well. You should encourage your children, and as a father and a mother, you should also be encouraged to be reading. It's very, very important. And I don't mean reading the newspaper, because newspaper sometimes is just information. I have a thing about, the news at the moment, but yeah, newspaper is not really a thing I will advise people to be doing on a regular basis at home. Read proper books that's going to add 1+ into you, a book that's good, like family books, one person start with a motivational book, books. It's very important that you start reading books. You need to encourage reading in your family setting. Now, the third one was writing. Writing is very key. Now, when you encourage writing in the family setting, now how do I encourage writing in the family setting? Be spontaneous. Don't be so boring. It's not just about talking. Sometimes you don't have to talk, you can just write it. I'll give you an incident. Sometimes my kids, they write all these apology letters when they've done something wrong, and I stop talking to them. They'll be standing there talking to me, and I just wouldn't talk. I wouldn't nudge. So what they do is they know that, okay, she's not listening, which is part of communication. So they will go and write these long essay papers, and they'll even leave it to me when I'm sleeping. So when I wake up, I'll have these things, and I'll read, and I'll laugh, and I'll be like, and I'll put it aside. So that's encouraging writing, because it's very important, because as they get used to doing that, you are also teaching them how to also learn how to write as they grow up in the education, X, Y, Z. Now, talking in the family setting, for us, the African, is very important. Now, we need to stop shutting our children down when they are talking, especially when they correct us. Out of embarrassment, out of shame, we'll be like, shut up, who are you talking to? I'm your mom, or I'm your father. Yes, there are some things you need to shut down when they become very rude, but there are those where you don't need to shut down. You need to, because when you keep doing that to them, what you're telling them is their voice cannot be heard, especially when they are saying the rightful thing. It's very dangerous if you do that from home, because you see, a home is where everything starts. It's a setting, it's a stage, is that play stage, that field where everything you're going to be outside begins from there. And if everything is being shut down and, judged and not given an opportunity to grow and express, you will become very insecurity. You build an insecurity inside of you when you go outside. And then that's when you see people start falling into drugs and gangs and things, because they're trying to earn something that should have been formed in a family setting. So these are the 4 basics I've just given you. Listening is important. Allow everybody in your home to be listened to. Very important. Starting from the youngest to the eldest. Reading is very important. Encourage them. It builds confidence. Writing, likewise, confident, and they will know if they can't talk, whatever issue they have, they can write it down. That's kind of like what happened to my daughter when she couldn't speak about her abuse. She wrote it down. And talking again, let kids express themselves. There's no other home, there's no other place, a safer place for any child to express themselves than their home. If you are open-minded like me and allow them to express themselves at home when nobody is there, no other person is there watching them, speaking to you anyhow they want, you are not going to be raising leaders. You're going to be raising people who are inferior and always afraid to speak. Okay, so it's from the home setting that you start to divert and guide the way they speak. But for you to start diverting and guiding them how to speak, you need to let them somehow exercise that freedom of speech at home. So that's all I have for you for this particular moment. Now, before I go any further, you know me, I am the queen of research, the queen of bringing you information. I had to research, and I finally found a small clip, like 3-minute clip about communication. It made me laugh. It was so amazing. I loved it. But I want you to have a look at it. And then when you come back, then we're going to talk and get into the more in-depth. I'm going to give you 5 principles of effective communication. Have a look at this.
Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah. Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah. Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah. Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah.
Buying a false ambition, falling short of understanding you. The mind is such a thing to waste. Whether you hear me or not, I cry louder every day to be home.
Harsh professor with dark complexion, I start the session. My architecture is cold as snow in the harshest weather. My bars are clever, my heart is dead and it's dark as ever. My last endeavor was ripping rappers apart for leisure.
I feel like I'm about to blow. I'm recognized everywhere I go. Fake friends treat me like I've changed, but the truth is I'm exactly the same.
Never too late. Never too late. Never too late.
Come on, I take the power like Tuesday. Come on, never hold back 'cause I'm too brave. Come on, I read my books, I write my flow. The young king in the industry don't wanna know.
Chosen creed, pose the evil that men do. Nostalgic persona, I'm mind free from the psychological holder. I'm far from the same pain mediocre. Cranking on a different level, keep my street composure.
Some did say that true love comes with great pain, but I say it's a lie, because his love is agape unconditionally. That's how I will love you. Endlessly.
Burning desire to get a little higher. Sidestep hell without touching the fire. I ain't saying anybody is a liar, but from African religion they created the Messiah. Now that's a whole nother rap tune. Any place I live I got a booth in the back too. Spontaneous poetry. Students be calling me Wayne, but they know it's me.
What is it with your eyes that making me wanna fantasize? I'm dreaming of being somewhere else with you. As you get to know me like I'm trying to get to know you new. Your sexy style, it's just driving me wild. Why don't we get up drinking if you want it to the dance floor? You should know I just wanna be there for you anytime.
Hi and welcome back. I went ahead on myself. You see, the video that I had play straight after what I spoke was what I really should have spoken about. I should have started with it. But you know what? I was so excited to pass on the information about, you know, effective communication that I skipped to tell you guys the best news ever. This is the month of May. Next week on the 31st of May, which is a Friday, that mixtape that you've just seen, it's a mixtape with the most amazing, you know, musicians and artists in the UK who came together and decided to bring the, you know, mixtape together. We're all very much spiritual people, and we're all very much in line, and most of us know each other for so long, and most of us just met each other when the group started. And Pharaoh Media, you know, I always recommend Pharaoh Records and Pharaoh Media. They're the one who got everybody together, and I think it's a movement that's coming. So UK, watch out. The mixtape is called King and Kingesses, and some people are asking, what is Kingesses? Well, King is a king, and obviously Kingesses is like a female. Instead of saying queen, we say Kingesses, based on the discovery of Femi Iloyi, who is the CEO of Pharaoh Record. He did the research and realized that queen is the same way of, it's sort of like same thing with the other word, which I don't want to say. And obviously since then he decided to do Kingesses, which I think is absolutely right. An emperor has an empress, so a king should have a kingess. So it's a beautiful thing. And as you can see, those were the video, you know, show to see the video of the songs that's going to be in it. It's amazing. All the songs that's going to be in there is going to, listen, this album is the album of the year. You need it. It's one of those that every song will cater to your needs. You have the slow jam, you have the upbeat jam, you have the, you know, hip hop jam, you have the whole lot. But one thing I will tell you guys is listen to the words, because these are gospel artists. Some are, some aren't. But these are artists that are conscious. Some are conscious artists, and some are gospel artists, and some are obviously just, you know, inspirational artists. So you have to listen to the words. So every word on those songs are actually sort of like positively delivering a message to you. So that's the album. Is dropping on the 31st of May. So don't miss it. It's going to be in all the platforms on iTunes, everywhere. Everywhere you see Naya V, that's me. That is my artist name. Naya V is my artist name. So you can Google me now, go Naya V, and you see all the other songs that I've done and everything. It's all there. But it's just because I love music, and music has been in my blood for a very long time. So I just do songs sometimes. I just push it out there without having to promote it. But this particular song that's on this one, obviously it was a remix from the Pharaoh Media. That's why it's there. So check it out, check it out, check it out. Now I'm going to carry on talking now. I want to give you guys the 5 principles. You know what, you have to wait for that communication movie. It's a short movie, but it's so funny and it's lovely, and you get it towards the end. Now I want to give you guys 5 principles of effective communication within the family setting. The reason why I keep saying within the family setting, because this is about family lessons, and you can do similar things at work, you know, effective communication at work, effective communication at uni, effective communication, you know, your company meeting, effective communication at the movie setting. So you can bring it up in everywhere. But I want people to understand the basic of everything we do outside in the world begins at home. That's what I want us to put all our focus and all our energy in home setting. How we set the children, how we set everything is very, very important. So the 5 principles of the effective communication within the home setting. The first one I wrote down was understand yourself. Now remember when I say that, you know, it's important to listen to the children, or not just when they are talking to you, but sometimes when they're talking to each other, and it's important to also allow them to speak. Now, allowing them to also talk, what it does, it opens up for them to understand who they are. Now, once you understand who you are, then you know how you can talk. You know, it's very, so in the home setting, you know, understanding who you are when you're talking builds confidence, and then you have confidence when you go outside and you know who you are, and obviously you will not be bullied as such. You will not be pushed or anything like that. So everyone in the home, from the dad, the mom, and the children, everybody, even if you have servant, even the servant, they're very, very much important to understand yourself first before you talk. Who are you talking as? Are you talking as the father, or are you talking as a friend? So you have to understand yourself. If you don't have an understanding of who you are, then what you find is each time you talk, people do not always listen to you. That's because you don't know who you are. Because once you know who you are and you start to speak, what happens is you don't demand people to listen to you. you automatically are commanding them. It's like you ooze out an energy which commands people to listen through your voice, because your voice then comes out so powerful and so confident, saying, you may not see it, say it as such, but it's just the energy that will come out of your voice is an energy that is showing that you know who you are and you know exactly what you're saying. So that's the first one. Understanding yourself is very important in a family setting. And the second one is understand your audiences. It's very important. You may think, what are you talking about? It's not as if we're out there in the world. Like I said, it starts at home. You start teaching your children to understand you are speaking to dad, you are speaking to mom, you are speaking to your brother, elder brother or little brother. You know, they need to understand the audience of who they're talking to. They can't talk to dad and mom as though they're talking to the elder brother or the siblings. They can't do that. You know, they can't, it's just you have to start teaching them to understanding, you know, this is your audience. I'm walking in front of mom and dad. Okay, I want to ask mom and dad something. There's a tone you will use. There's a way you approach. You know, if you're like my little one, she will just come and start saying, smile. You know, when she starts with smile, you know that she wants something. And she'll be like, are you okay? Are you happy? All those questions she will ask, but that's her. That's because she understood who she is and she does things how she wants it. But whereby when she goes to her siblings or things, she'll be like, I want this now. Then you wonder how? Different, because she identified the audience. Me and the siblings are totally different. So the audience is definitely different. So understand the audience that you're talking to at that particular moment. If it so happen that you have everybody in there, find a way of talking and limit some conversation, but I'll get into that a little bit more. So yeah, so understand who your audience are. Now, listen actively. Now, we have listening on the first basic, but this one I said actively. Now, I will break it down a little bit. What I mean is like what you're doing right now. You're listening to me actively, because maybe if I say something, you're there at home, I can't see you, but I'm assuming you're at home going, yeah, you're absolutely correct, you're shaking your head, and that means you are listening to me actively, so you're very much there, your presence is there. So if I try to deviate from anything that I'm saying, you can cut through and redirect me back into my conversation. And that's why it's important to not just listen, but actively listen. So that is the key as well. So when you're speaking to, you know, your children or yourselves or whatever it is, listen actively. Don't listen to answer, because that's something that a lot of people do. You listen to clap back, you know. You don't listen actively. And actively means listen to what the person is saying, you know, understand what they're saying, whatever it is. Don't just be quick to answer straight away, you know. Point and show them watch the body language is, and all those things is very important. So that's listening actively. And then number 4 is simplify. Now, you have to simplify everything in the communication at home. You don't want to be a dictator. You know, there are some children who are literally afraid to speak to the parents about anything, even if it means that, oh, mommy, can I just go and get an ice cream, or can I do, they would not come and speak to you, because you're just like this soldier from the planet Zorro or something. You know, you're just unreachable. You're just like, people can't talk to you. And that's not really nice. So you have to learn to simplify. Simplify everything. Simply means, you know, make it sweet and short. You know, don't do all these long essay and or I'm telling you, you know, I come from a background of an African, you know, setting where parents, you know, for some reason always felt that, yeah, you know, talking to you or disciplining you or putting you down in front of other kids or your friends is like, they call it embarrassing you, but really, like we saw it last week, it's actually abuse. Sorry, my voice is sort of like going because I've been having a lot. When I mean a lot, I mean I've been having a lot of meetings, and which also involve me talking. So my voice is slowly going, but we're getting there. So yeah, so it is really not good to, you know, talk to your children in front of other kids, embarrassing them, I think it's not really, really nice, because that's a form of abuse, and that's just making them feel so insecure, and it's not nice. So simplify things simply means say things simple, straightforward. Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. No matter how many times they come at you, because I have a child in my house, you can say no 1,000,000 times in a day. And I never get tired of saying no to them, because once I tell you no, you can come in any way you like, and they will come after 5 minutes, after 5 minutes. I'm telling you, this is literally what I live in my home. And they will keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And I will keep saying no, 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 no. But I later on realized, apparently one of the friends told him that, oh, you know, with my mom, if you just keep going back to him, to her all the time, and you say this, and she gets so annoyed, and she just say, oh, go on, go on, go on. And then, unfortunately, my child thought that would be the case with me. But it's not the case with me. My no, I know. It's simple. I simplify everything. My yes, are yes. You know, and it's not going to change. So that's how you have to be. It's not easy raising children, let alone raising children alone. I know sometimes they're nagging and everything, but you have to understand this way, 5 principles of doing things, because what you're doing, you're shaping them. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are shaping them. You are teaching that child that constantly keep coming and think, and you say no, you put your foot down. So they're not understanding that when somebody say no, it's no. And I shouldn't push, because that's how my mom always used to be, or my dad always used to be. So it's very important, because they're observing. And see, if they keep coming to you and eventually you turn around and say, oh, go on then they know they can keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And eventually they'll send it. And what you will find is they can go somewhere out there, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, and then they end up doing something wrong. And because of the mindset that, oh, this is what I'm just going to keep doing because I did it to my mom or my parents and they always do this, so let me just try it anyway. And then over there, it may not get the results that they got from you. It may even be worse. So it's very important when we are letting our kids to do whatever they want, we have to think, when we're doing it now, how is it going to affect them tomorrow when they grow up and they're old and they literally go outside? So that's number 4. So let me just run quickly. Number 1 was understand yourself. Number 2, it was understand your audience. Number 3 was listen actively. Number 4 is simplify. And then the last one, which is number 5, is find a perfect time, which I struggle with a lot of time. You know, I'm an honest person. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I shout there and then when really I shouldn't. But these things happen, you know. Oops, do happen. Sometimes I reach out the wrong timing. But this is something that I've learned that, yes, sometimes you just have to find the perfect timing. And unfortunately, the perfect timing to talk or effectively communicate with people may not be the time that you want to do it. And that's another thing that you have to accept. You may have to wait until it's the time for them. And those times may take years, may take forever. But as long as you know that when it's the right time, when you start, then you pour out. Always use the right time, because then that way, this is what I always tell people, you know, when you know at the right time when to speak, because a lot of people, good ideas, especially good ideas, if, you know, a good idea comes at the right time, it is something that people will look into. I'll give you an example that I see this a lot. Politician, for instance, you know, sometimes when there's like crusades and all these things that people do, and they find themselves, for instance, we go to a crusade or a meeting about human right, no, not human right, a meeting about, let's say, let's save our animals, farms, whatever it is in the UK. And then somebody stands up off the feet and say, well, do you know what? Actually, there's XYZ wars in XYZ country, and I just want to use this opportunity to say it in front of the TV. That is maybe a good idea, but you're actually not at the right place to talk about it. I was at a mayor of Hounslow. Congratulations, Tony, for becoming the mayor of Hounslow. I was at in Hounslow, the new Civic, on Tuesday it was. And obviously a lot of people come there, they have their own agenda, but everybody were given an opportunity to speak whatever they had to speak, and I was there representing the Hounslow Seniors Trust, because I'm one of the trustees. So I spoke irrespective of the Hounslow Seniors Trustee. Whatever issue and agenda that I really want to talk about, that was not the appropriate place, I don't think, to talk about it. But there will be other people that will use that opportunity, because you have all the politicians there, and all the governors there, and all the councillors, and everybody's there, the cameras, the media, everything was there. And then you'll just open up and say about something, although it would be a good idea, but it's not the right place. So it's very important to find a perfect time, a perfect place to do that. So I'll give you the 5. Again, is 5 principles of an effective communication at home is understand yourself, understand your audience, listen actively, simplify everything you're saying, and find a perfect time and a perfect place to communicate your good ideas, whatever it is that you want to communicate. Now, because today I'm going to finish very soon. So before I go, I'm just going to play now the communication video for you. Have a look at this and I will come back. Hello, welcome back. Did you enjoy it? Because me, when I saw it, I really loved it. It was hilarious, especially when you ask, you know, do you speak English? And then she said, nope. And there was no sign. I'm like, nope, sorry. And I'm like, hold on a minute. You just say no, sorry. So is that not English? But then later on, she says that obviously she's deaf. Obviously, a deaf person does not speak. So really, she does not speak English. So yeah, see, this is something that I wanted to throw out there. So you can replay it over and over again. And as you're replaying it, an exercise for you guys, homework, have a look to see what sort of, you know, effective communication did you see there. Do the people who were communicating, did they feel like they understood themselves? Did they feel like, you know, they understood the audience and all those things? Now I'm going to summarize it. I'm going to say this. Are you a good communicator? Do you have a wide repertoire of skills? Now, if you answered yes to all of these things, then you are a very good communicator. It simply means you are able to adjust your communication in response to the many variables you face at a given time. Like we saw in the video, he was able to adjust his communication because he found out that she's deaf, so he started writing X, Y, Z. So a good communicator is somebody like myself who's here talking to you guys, but if you see me how I talk when I'm in the trustees, it's totally different things. So you learn how to change as you go about your communication. Well, I hope today was an amazing one for you. Next week is a surprise one. I'm not going to say what it is. You have to wait for it. But you know me, I always have to surprise you when I come on the studio, right? So thank you ever so much for coming in today and tuning on. And for all of you who's going to be watching after the show, thank you all together. But I have a special month next month, the month of June. All of my shows are going to be in Lingala. And for some of you who are my French or who are my English listeners, I apologize. It's only 1 month. Let's give it to them, you know, because it's the month of independence, the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I've got a lot of things I would like to showcase you guys about the Democratic Republic of Congo. And you get to see me speak the native language that I've learned, which is Lingala. So I've had fun speaking to you today. I hope you enjoyed me today as I enjoyed you. So until we meet again next week, have a blessed day and enjoy the rest of the sun because it's sunny outside. And we're just going to play again the promo. Don't forget, 31st, next week, the 31st, it's coming out. King and Kingus. Watch the promo and I say bye.
Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah. Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah. Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah. Fake friends surround me like air. Yeah.
Buying a false ambition, falling short of understanding you. The mind is such a thing to waste. Whether you hear me or not, I cry louder every day to be home.
Harsh professor with dark complexion, I start the session. My architecture is cold as snow in the harshest weather. My bars are clever, my heart is dead and it's dark as ever. My last endeavor was ripping rappers apart for leisure.
I feel like I'm about to blow. I'm recognized everywhere I go. Fake friends treat me like
nostalgic persona. I'm mind free from the psychological holder. I'm far from the same pain mediocre. Cranking on a different level, keep my street composure.
Some did say that true love comes with great pain, but I say it's a lie, because his love is agape unconditionally. That's how I will love you. Endlessly.
Burning desire to get a little higher. Sidestep hell without touching the fire. I ain't saying anybody is a liar, but from African religion they created the Messiah. Now that's a whole nother rap tune. Anyways I live, I got a booth in the back too. Spontaneous poetry. Students be calling me Wayne, but they know it's me.
What is it with your eyes that making me wanna fantasize? I'm dreaming of being somewhere else with you, as you get to know me like I'm trying to get to know you. Do your sexy style, it's just driving me wild. Why don't we get up drinking if you want it to the dance floor? You should know I just wanna be there for you anytime.
Hey, special dedication to each and everyone who watched the Nina Cabeza live show. Watch me so, me go so them live it every time my music play it feel live. Greetings, proper fix, proper fix, proper fix. I bring you peace, I bring you peace. We good to go, good to go. Good to go then in a Cabeza live show. What you gonna do? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do? What you gonna do now? Everyone, let's get it on. Watch the Nina Cabeza live show. Everyone, let's get it on. Watch the Nina Cabeza live show. Bring your wisdom to people in a comfort of their home simple. Say again. Bring your wisdom to people in a comfort of their home simple. What more? What more? Tune in, tune in, keep watching the Nina Cabeza live show. Yes, no problems, no problems, no problems, no problems. Yes, indeed. Greetings. One event grow it ordinary snake head, hatchet the flying dragon, questions good, say that. What up, what up, what up, what up?